we have two different feature competitions for the festival here at DOC NYC. This is part of the Metropolis competition, which are, by the name, New York-focused stories. This is a particularly very New York-focused story, so much so that a little personal anecdote for myself, and I think I've neglected to say that I'm Basil Siokos. I'm the director of programming of the festival. When I saw this film, I was surprised because I was watching it in my then East Village apartment, and there's you'll see what I mean when you see the film, but scenes of the film took place literally around the corner from my apartment, and so I was like, that's just kind of nuts, and was excited to be able to sort of talk to the director and let him know about that. So this definitely is a New York story. Homme-less is the film you're about to watch. It is a film that is in many ways timely. It speaks about lots of issues that are relevant to the time we live in now in terms of economic issues, etc. But at the heart, it's a very personal story about an unforgettable character who you'll get to know if you don't already know him. I'm very happy to have with us in the audience the director of the film. We'll ask him to come on up to say a few words before the screening. So please join me in welcoming Thomas Wirthensohn to say a few words.
Thanks for coming. I see a lot of friends here and people who contributed to the film, so I'm very happy to see you all. Finally, I think thanks to the festival, Basil, Tom and Raffaele for having us here. I think it's very important that this film is shown in New York. It was basically born almost 4 years ago, not far from here, where the protagonist told me his story, and we started shooting like a week later. And yeah, I wanna thank the IFC. You know, it's amazing that I can show my film in this theater with so much, you know, tradition. And I hope you enjoy it, and we'll be here for the Q&A afterwards.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Raffaele Nehausen, the executive director of the festival, and please help me welcome to the stage Thomas Wirthensohn and Mark Reay.
Thank you, Raffaele.
So many questions. I'll ask a few, and then I will definitely take some questions from the audience. My first question was for Mark.
Really?
But really, what was the experience like of allowing Thomas, as charming as he is, to film you? And did you ever feel worried that it could even jeopardize your apartment, how you were living, the life you'd created for yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I also thought it was most likely worth the risk. And after seeing what a great job he did with it, that any of the negative ramifications really just don't matter compared to the joy and the pleasure I get from seeing what he's created with my input.
And Thomas, can you tell us a little bit about how you met, what brought you to the story? You're a filmmaker from Austria. This is a bit of a journey from home. How did you get involved, and were you also staying out there as well on some of those nights that you were shooting? Or not?
Long story, so I tried to make it short. We've known each other for a long time. We've been modeling together in the 80s. That's how old we are, Mark.
Child modeling.
And we just kept in touch and ran into each other at the most random places, right, over the years. And when I moved to New York 6 years ago, I got back in touch, and then we were catching up over a few beers, and then I ran out of questions. And I just asked where he lives in the city. And then it all began. He told me his story. I don't know why you actually told me, but it was a really magical moment for me because...
And I'm wondering the same reason why I've ever told you.
I knew right away that I wanted to make this film. Like I don't know, after my brain kind of was able to think again because I was so shocked and overwhelmed, and I couldn't grasp that thought, really. I knew I wanted to do this film.
And Mark, were you at all concerned that, for example, your friend Corey might see this film or know, and he might be here tonight?
Yeah.
He might be here. Or even, I mean, for...
No, because
for friends that are in the film and don't know...
I cringe when I watch those scenes tonight, literally, knowing that my friend is here, and it's really exploitive. It was terrible of me. in many ways, and I feel a lot of guilt about that. It's also a desperate time, and maybe I chose survival over doing the responsible thing, but for whatever reason, I'm deeply indebted to him, even though I didn't ask him, and he didn't supposedly have any awareness of it, but it really pains me to watch the movie tonight.
Take some questions from the audience. Or I can keep asking all night.
Yeah, let's hurry up, because I have to pee.
Well, well, I know I probably speak for many people in the audience when I say we're so grateful that you allowed Thomas to take us on this journey. I found the story incredibly moving and inspiring, and you have such spirit, like a really incredible spirit as a human being. So I hope when you watch the film that all that good stuff outweighs anything else you're feeling in terms of the apartment or those little details. But
Well, thank you.
thank you.
And I also want to thank Mark that he really let me do it, because it was very brave. And I think the way he guides me or the viewer through the film is pretty amazing, because I didn't look at any locations beforehand. I didn't know what's coming. I was just following him, basically. I mean, I told him what I wanted to film, basically, but it came all out of his mouth, and you can print it. You know, so a lot of this, it was never rehearsed or repeated. I was looking, but I didn't really know what I was looking for, right? I wanted to do a documentary at that time, this 4 or 5 years ago. And then it just fell in my lap. This is my first one. I worked in you know, I produce videos, commercial stuff, or in the fashion world too, but this is my first film.
And it's amazing how he shot this. I mean, he literally was using a consumer camera, a Canon 5D. And
We can clap for that. First time film. Let's clap. We clap.
Thank you.
And there were no assistants there. There was no. I mean, sometimes I'd be talking to Tom, and he'd be walking backwards, and I'd have to go, look out behind you, Tom. And because he was about to run into something, so he'd have his headset on, so he was oblivious to car sounds. He had this little tiny camera, and he's looking at a viewfinder that big, and it came out, in my estimation, like Hollywood quality.
It also came with the project. I didn't want to involve anyone else, because it was such a matter of trust. I didn't want to let anyone else into this secret. You know, it was just between him and Mark and me, basically.
Right there, yes.
That would be Clint Eastwood's son, too.
Yes. I was really lucky. A friend of mine introduced me to him, and he was playing at the Blue Note at the time. And I just talked to him, and I said, listen, I'm working on this documentary, and I really love to have a jazz score in it. And she said to me, you know, that's the guy who you want to do the music for your film. And I said, okay. So he said he never really gets requests for doing a jazz score. You know, he did a lot of scores for his dad's films, but they're never really jazz scores. So he was really interested in it, and he agreed to do it. And I was the luckiest man, really.
There in the middle.
Next question. It's in transition, yeah.
Not really. I mean, it was intense at times, and but I never really had the feeling that we should stop. What do you think?
No, I mean, we were friends, and I was grateful to have met Tom again 14 years ago. So I was just happy to begin renewing our friendship, and so I trusted him, and I know he's a decent person. So I never really felt that there was any problem. And, you know, I always like to talk and have a story to tell, so.
He never tried to push me off the roof, really.
And Mark, did your mother or siblings see the film? And if not, are you planning to show it to them?
No, they know very little about it, and I didn't tell them about tonight, and I really don't want them to see it.
And I just want to point out, this is the North American premiere, so you are the very first audience on this whole continent to see this film. So it's a very new film.
Yep.
Yep.
And we're doing a 3D version soon, too, so that you have a special invite.
Buy the DVD.
Sorry, what was the question again?
He was shooting and it was you and two as friends and he had never done a film together. In the front of your head, it was like a project that might never see the light of day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember. Thanks. No, actually, I always thought my situation was a good story. And, you know, I never expected the film to look as good as it does. I mean, regardless of me in it or whatever, it looks so incredible. But I always thought what I was doing was an interesting story. And that was kind of my general belief anyway, that almost anyone's life, if a life story, if told properly, is going to be interesting. But I knew I had a lot more dramatic moments. And I even somehow placated myself in thinking if I did get arrested for being on the roof, it would make an interesting scene in my life story. So
I was waiting for it,
and then I thought a good
but I
conclusion.
didn't tip off the cops.
But then I also thought a good conclusion would be me falling off the roof, because that would be a real heartbreaker there, or hopefully. But you know, there actually, you know, I was a little bit fatalistic, because there is one scene that we shot, and it's my death letter to my family, because I was so concerned that if I did die falling off the roof or have a heart attack or something happened to me, and my body is uncovered for days, I didn't want my family to have any questions about why I was there, what I was doing, how unhappy I must have been, or any of that. So we shot this scene, this letter, which was supposed to have gone to my family
In the basement.
Yeah, right. But it was just like, just saying, you know, listen, I don't want you to worry. It was just, I was pretty much happy with what I was doing. And, you know, you didn't do anything wrong, you know, and it was just like me surviving in a somewhat interesting way. So, give the whole synopsis and give it away. So there are a few people, I don't know. No, I don't think there's anyone here that I know. Yeah, I don't have a place to sleep. I mean, yes, life has changed. One, the roof, that hasn't been a part of my life for many months now anyway. And secondly, I feel quite honored to be part of a beautiful piece of artwork, and that I feel remotivated to really succeed and try more, because it was quite an honor to be a part of, you know, this beautiful product that Tom made with a little bit of help from me.
Thank you.